Can my Chevy Express 1500 cargo van, which I call Vanna White, haul a Chinese mini tracked dumper? That's the question of the day, and the answer is yes and no. It's complicated. Just drive it right into the van, right? No. Well, anyway, here's how it started out. So lately I got this idea in my head to purchase a Chinese mini tracked dumper, being that it seems to make the perfect companion for the Crazy X, which is not what you think. The Crazy X is what I call my Chinese mini excavator. I had been watching Facebook Marketplace for an SDL25, which is an SD Lance track-mounted mini dumper. These machines can haul 3,000 pounds, turn on a dime and get 9 cents change, climb extremely steep ascents, and go up to 10 miles per hour. But we're going to get into the deets in another video, so subscribe to stay in the loop. After viewing many overpriced machines, being ghosted a few times on fair-priced machines, I actually got in contact with Carl, who answered all of my questions. So I decided to leave work early and make the 60-mile trip to hopefully make a deal on one of these mini tracked dumpers. So I left work early, grabbed some cash, some ratchet tie-downs, and some road coffee, then jumped in the van and made the trip to Acosta, Pennsylvania.
On my way out to buy a mini dumper. Roughly a 60-mile trip to go get this thing. I found it on Marketplace, and I'm in my van. I bought the ramps a couple days ago. I'm hoping that the ramps are gonna allow me to drive this right into the van, which is gonna be pretty damn cool, because if that's possible, that eliminates a lot of the crap that you're gonna run into if you were to go and try to hook a trailer up and everything else. I mean, to fit that right in the back of the van is gonna be pretty darn cool. So we got a trip ahead of us, and not much interesting to see on the way there, but it is what it is, you know.
Mostly Mike had a mission, Saturday crack of dawn. White Chevy van in the driveway, Vanna White all shining on. Yellow dumper in the classifieds, tiny tracks, big old green. He said, if it's a chips, boys, sip this cold caffeine. Bigger rigging a mini dumper in a cargo can on wheels. Got more hope than he's got tape, but he loves how reckless feels. If the tailgate closes, that's what he calls chrome. Bigger rigging a mini dumper all the way home.
Like I'm in the right spot. Oh yeah. So the problem is that little bar on the front is about a ½ inch too high for getting through the door. But we're gonna try taking the bar off, and hopefully we can get this thing in here. Alright, so we gotta move the ramps over. We're gonna try putting it on rollback and riding it in just to get it in here. And after I get it home, we'll worry about it. I haven't really talked to the guy about being filmed, so I don't know how he's gonna be about that, but I'll ask him when we get out here if he minds if we film this. But at any rate, see what happens here. All right. Okay, he has it up on his rollback there. The headlights are freaking bright on that thing. I can't believe how bright those headlights are. More?
We removed the grab bar from the mini dumper, which was easier said than done. Then Carl got the idea to use his rollback, being that he was a towing and auto salvage business. So the goal was to make the bed of the rollback level with the van floor so it's a straight shot into the van. Turns out you can't just drive the dumper onto the van. The ceiling just doesn't offer quite enough clearance, so the seat, also too high, had to be folded down. This dumper should be easy to push, right? Welp, let's just add pushing the mini dumper to the easier said than done list. We pushed the machine with all we had, and the progress was less than ideal. Carl decided to try starting the machine, jamming it into gear without clutching, and then throwing it back out of gear before we got crushed against the seat. Very sketchy, but it actually worked. Very sketchily.
If you want to jump out, I'll try to put it in gear and pop it back out of gear. Wow. Slide it down a little bit more. That's the bar right there. Yeah, I'm just a little scared of the damn thing, you know. I'm not familiar.
Oh, I was scared of doing that, but hey, it worked.
I decided that strapping it down probably wouldn't be necessary for the journey home, so yeah. The van had no problem with the weight of the mini dumper, and the ride home was pretty uneventful with no mishaps or catastrophes. Ha! $90 to fill up. Gas prices came down. I don't know what was up with the last, 5 years. It was late, so I decided to wait until it was light out before attempting to unload this beast by myself. Of course, it rained all freaking day, and about an hour before it got dark again, the rain stopped.
Alright, so it's toward the end of the next day after I hauled this thing home. Weather hasn't been very cooperative, but here's a better idea of what I bought. And this should be everything for the mini excavator as far as hydraulic lines. A lot of them will probably work on this machine too. And we have a bag full of goodies here, like adapter fittings and things to connect the fittings to things commonly used on these machines. So I'm sure we'll get a lot of use out of these. This here is a log grapple. I don't know if there's a pin missing on it or not, but this will work. I believe these work off the dump to clench the log or not clench the log. Time will tell. We'll be doing a test on that. Then we got this cute little bucket for trenching, which I think is going to work pretty good. And there's a little tag, 300 by 200 by 420 millimeter. And this should come in handy for doing light work, like digging a small trench for a small pipe. So now the final dilemma. We have our machine itself, and we need to get it out of the van. To get it in, I think you've seen what we had to go through, and to get it back out, I am thinking we're going to have to get some forks under it and maybe try to lift it up so we can drift it out a little bit. All right, we got to crank this up. I'm hoping I can lift under the bed. If you can see under there. See under there without bending the bed. Here goes try number one. Okay, it's having no trouble lifting it, but I do not see how we're going to get it to slide. Okay, so idea number one. I unplugged the spark plug wire here, and so the motor can't actually start. And I'm going to climb up inside. Hopefully the battery's still good. I still have the S end lifted up for safety. And my idea is going to be to throw the tranny in gear, in the reverse gear. So These things shift sideways, so that would be reverse right there if it's in. And hopefully I could just turn the key to start and it'll hopefully be enough to drive it backwards. Okay, that's not doing anything. And I'm already smelling gas. Oh, you know what? It seems like the tranny might be in neutral now. I'm gonna unplug that again. Just to try this. Okay, it's moving now. So I'm just gonna jack it a couple times to get it closer to the back bumper so I can get a better bite with that lift. Working. All right, let's go around back here. I always wait till dark on this stuff. I'm gonna set that bitch back down on the ground and see if we can get a better bite on it. Because I'm close to the end here. We're making progress. Get these lamps in place. This is where it would be nice to have another person here, so they could tell me if I'm in line or not. But we don't have another person, and I'm too impatient to wait for a person to come over. So this seems to be my way. All right, so I'm gonna go inside and crank it a little bit, and I want you to let me know if it's going off the ramps or not. Okay, the steering works. Okay, straight back now, right? Let's see how we're doing here. Now I can shut the fuel off. All right, I'm gonna cock it that way a little bit. I said cock. I am really hoping that those shifters don't come close to the top. I don't know if they can be removed or not. One thing is I can just move this by hand on the balancing point. Hell, I thought we had it made in the shade. But I'm gonna have to pick it up using the forks. Now, provided that doesn't fall off of here, it's gonna be sketchy. I'm gonna get back up there and try sending it. We're sending her. Okay, we're still on the ramps. Okay, we'll set you up over here. Get you a lower angle. You can see it's kind of sketchy looking, but okay, we're clear. And we should be able to edge her down the rest of the way.
Yes, this method worked perfectly. Then I was able to safely lower the Chinese mini dumper back onto the tracks, free and clear of the rear entrance of the van. Then I simply cranked the engine until getting the dumper onto the ground at its new home. Geez, it practically unloaded itself.
Success.
I will include these mini dumper videos in my mini excavator stuff playlist, but this will also kick off a new playlist appropriately named Pimp My Dumper. So be sure to check that out too. I guess that the answer to the question at the beginning of this video is yes, the Chevy Express cargo van will haul the Chinese mini dumper. But no, I would not recommend this method of moving it unless you have absolutely no other options. Thanks for sharing this struggle with me. I hope that you learned something or at least got a few laughs out of this. If you did, please be sure to leave a comment below and click the thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.